Hello everyone and welcome to our coverage of the penultimate EWS-E race of 2022. We're in Switzerland and back in the big mountains for EWS-E Crans Montana. There were 3 loops here in Crans Montana and all 3 of them brutally kicked off with power stages. The total race distance a monstrous 70.9 kilometres with 4,222 vertical metres of climbing and descending. The first loop was the longest at 25 kilometres in length and was freshly coated in the remnants of some heavy overnight rain. Despite being adamant that he finds the EWS-E power stages really challenging, Pole's Lee Johnson won the opening power stage to take an early lead. Specialised Sophia Wiedenroth set the fastest time in the Pro Women's. On the second stage, Orbea's overall series leader Flo Espiniera took the win, but without injured title rival Laura Charles in attendance, the Chilean knew that she could ride her own race. Canyon's Ines Toma was taking on her first ever EWS-E and clearly enjoying herself.
It's back at it, racing e-bikes, how's it going?
It's good, like I'm learning a lot. It's my first EWS-E and I think the format is so cool, like we race the whole day, it's full on. You go, you stop, you hardly have no time to think really, which is cool. It's very adventurous, you know, rain in your face, very high up, you're like, where do I need to go? And you shouldn't get lost because you have no time to get lost. So yeah, it's a cool adventure for me.
But Wiedenroth won again on stage 3 and her lead stood at a handsome 24 seconds by the time they headed back to the pits.
Yeah, actually the first uphill stage went quite well. I expected it's more slippery. I mean it was slippery, but I somehow could manage to go over those rocks and actually this was cool. The rest I'm a bit slow yet because yeah, it's like so slippery, so unpredictable, but I hope the rest of the day will be similar.
Johnson's early lead had slipped by the end of the first loop and a trio of fast French racers had pushed themselves to the front. Mathieu Ruffray was now in third behind Antoine Roche, who was just 0.6 of a second behind the overall title leader and now the leader of the race, Yannick Pontal.
Yeah, it was really slippery, really hard to be confident on the first one. You know, on the rock, well, it's a little bit muddy but very slick, so yeah, I ride safe. And try to ride really clean, smooth, and at the moment it's really good. So I will try to continue like that.
Perfect. You know what the gap between you and second place is?
Not really, but it's really close for sure.
Sophia Wiedenroth was riding high at the front of the Pro Women's. Behind her, Espiniera had a comfortable 10-second buffer ahead of Alia Marcellini. In the Pro Men's then, Pontal led Roche, led Ruffray ahead of Johnson, Ladera and Garibo. The second loop was just shy of 22 kilometres in length and featured a brutal inversion of the bottom of Saturday's EWS Pro stage to kick things off as the rain started to fall once more. The second power stage was won by Wiedenroth, with Toma clearly warming into her race, 27 seconds behind her. Andrea Garibo sensed an opportunity for the climbers to take to the front and took the win in the Pro Men's ahead of Milan Majsic. That moved the Italian up to second behind Pontal. Antoine Roche won on stage 5 with Garibo and Pontal in close contention behind him. Britain's Elliot Heap was pushing hard though. He was 4th on the stage and now 11th on the road. On stage 6, the downhillers struck back. Roche took the win, Heap was 2nd and Josh Carlson was 4th.
Was good. Just the pre-stage was like too hard for me, but the other one were good.
You know what the situation is with the overall at the moment?
Yeah, so yeah, it's tight. It's good.
You're leading.
Yeah,
Cool.
but there is one more power stage to go, and I'm not the best on it, so we will see.
Yeah, it's going. We had a pretty miserable power stage, and there's a lot of climbing here, which isn't in my favour, being one of the bigger dudes, but we had a top 5 on stage 6, and we're looking to put in a big performance for the final stages. I'm excited for stage 9. I think that's my favourite for the weekend. It's a great way to finish.
Really bad. I had a flat tire on the last stage and I have to change to put inside the tube. I lost, so I'm just right now without stop.
When I see, okay, I'm almost overtaking the front, I know I'm not too bad, but obviously the race is finished in the finish, and always when, you know, like we do again a really big loop, everything can happen. I hope nothing will happen, because always when I say this in an interview something happens, but I cross my finger, I just stay like before.
Salt is very important for your power, did you know that? So instead of salt pills, I go very healthy, potatoes and salt.
Is this new? Is this a new thing?
I
Science?
think it's gonna be a new trend.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just starting it now.
Have you had them in your pocket all day?
And here is how those overalls looked as the final battery changes were being made. Sofia Wiedenroth's lead was chunky, but not unsurmountable given that a power stage still remained. Ines Thoma was holding EWS-E Petsen winner Alia Marcellini at bay for the final podium spot. Only 2.3 seconds covered the top 3 pro men. Ruffray was the closest to them, whilst Portugal's Tiago Ladeira was pushing hard in 5th. Stage 5 saw Andrea Garibo riding brilliantly to the front as he took 2nd on the stage. Only 2.3 seconds covered the top 3 pro men. Andrea Garibo was within a second of Antoine Roche. The Italian had been faultless on the power stages so far. Was he homing in on his debut win? 3 stages remain. A power stage followed by 2 super fast charges down to the finish over 24.7 kilometres. For the first time in the race, it was time to finally make use of a lift. A rerun of the power stage awaited and was now a fine balancing act of traction and momentum. Yannick Pontal took the win ahead of Andrea Garibo and Tiago Ladeira. Wiedenroth made it a sweep of the pro women's power stages. 2 stages remained, and it was all downhill back to Crans Montana. Espiniera took 9.5 seconds out of Wiedenroth's lead on 8. It was now just over 25 seconds. Pontal had stretched his to 13. Could anyone catch them? If so, stage 9 Demi-Toxic was their last chance to do so. Antoine Roche won the final stage ahead of Elliot Heap.
Not bad. Just the last loop, did a bit of not good riding, and the last one I rode it well, so it's cool. 9 was really cool. The top was bike park, the bottom was woody, rooty, so it was cool. A bit of everything. Happy. Yeah. We always want more, but that's the game.
Good on the downs, rubbish on the ups, but I've not really rode an e-bike that much and never really tried a power stage before, so I had the power stages real good in practice, like just clean, and I like technical climbing, like trialsy stuff's like, I like that, it's kind of a bit of my forte at home. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll do alright at the power stages, and then in the race I just rushed everything. And then I went a little bit too easy on one of them because I thought it was longer than it was, but they shortened it more than I thought. But other than that, tracks were sick. Like every track that went down was unreal. E-bikes are so good, they got so much grip and they ride so well. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed my time, and I think I'm going to do the one in finale. I was like, should I do one in finale? But after today, I think I will. So hopefully we get some good tracks again, and it's good fun.
It was quite fun. My favorite of the day, bike park, a couple of jumps at the end, a low mid section, so enjoy it. Nice to end the day in a high note as well, so good. Quite happy about my performance, but yeah, kind of a little bit of sour taste that I couldn't take the win today, but we'll see in finale.
Flo Espiniera tasted victory in the last stage, but there was no catching Sophia Wiedenroth. The German rider would claim her debut win in some style, having controlled the race beautifully all day. Ines Thoma took an extremely popular debut EWS-E podium to add to the celebrations.
How are you feeling, Sophia?
Exhausted, but I really enjoyed those big high alpine mountains, and the bike was just like working perfectly. So the morning it's really early, but we were like super lucky because we had some sun in the morning and the trails were still dry. And then the rest of the day became just like more rainy, more slippery. So it was like so tricky to ride actually, but yeah, I just really like those big mountains, and I like also when it's a bit wet, so super stoked on that, really.
There was no stopping Yannick Pontal in the pro men's race. The winner of the second race of the season stormed the second half of the EWS-E Crans Montana to take the win by 17.5 seconds from Andrea Garibo, who had ridden superbly all day and come through the pack beautifully. Antoine Rouge was third.
Yannick, how are you feeling right now?
I feel it's crazy, you know. Yeah, in the second loop, it was really hard for me, and I pushed out on the last one, and it was my favorite, you know, very natural, very slippery. I like when it's slippery, and I push out on the power stage. I won it, I won the second one, and yeah, I have a big margin on this one, and I rode safe, but yeah, I'm really happy. It's amazing.
And this is then confirmation of those results. Sophia Wiedenroth takes the top step, aided by a clean sweep of the power stages. Flo Espiniera was second, and Ines Thoma returned to the podium, albeit her debut EWS-E one in third. Yannick Pontal backed up his win at EWS-E Pits in Jamnica earlier in the year with another one here at EWS-E Crans Montana, ahead of Garibo, whose hunt for a debut win continues. Rouge got home ahead of Ruffray and Mari, who were ahead of Pombo, Ladera, Johnson and Heap. The overalls then, with just one race remaining, a more than satisfactory day in the office for Flo Espiniera sees them increase their lead in the overall title race, but it is now Sophia Wiedenroth who is up into second place ahead of Alia Marcellini. Yannick Pontal has been the master of consistency all season, but Andrea Garibo remains just 140 points off his lead as we head to his home round in Italy. Edgar Carballo Gonzalez is in third ahead of a gaggle of riders squaring up to claim Lee Johnson's fourth place. And that result from Espiniera sees Orbea Fox Enduro team hold on to a slender lead from Miranda Factory team in the team's championship, and they have a wider gap behind them back to Lapierre Overvold.